Hello there friends, and welcome along to another Whiteboard Wednesday video. It's me, David Duffett here at Let the Geek Speak HQ, and as you know, in these videos we consider various aspects of presentations and presentation skills in order to make your presentations even better than they currently are now. And today I would like to talk to you about the very beginning of your presentation and use this handy mnemonic or acronym, call it what you will, to help you remember the 5 key components that make a great start to any presentation. But before I do that, let me ask you, if you appreciate this video, do click the like button please. And also, if you'd like to see other videos on the area of presentation skills, then get along to the Let the Geek Speak YouTube channel. And while you're there, remember to subscribe and click on the bell in order to be notified of when new videos come along. Anyway, back to the matter in hand. And what I want to talk to you about is this very first part. As you can see, it's a bit of a clue there. There's 5 parts, but just the very first one I'd like to mention today is impact. That's right, impact. And that's all about how do we grab the attention of the audience and draw them into our presentation. We need to break their preoccupation. They might be checking the email on their phone. They might be talking to the person that they found themselves next to as they sat down. There could be all sorts of things going on, and what we need to do is break that and draw them in to our presentation using some kind of high impact mechanism to grab their attention. And I've got a few ideas for you. There's lots of different ways, I'm sure. And if there's a way that you like to use that I didn't go into, then add that in the comments underneath. But let me give you these 3 or 4 as very useful ideas that you can adapt, adopt, and become adept at using to improve your presentations. So here's the first one. It's the fascinating fact. So kick off your presentation by stating some kind of fascinating fact that's pertinent to the subject matter. So, as an example, hello there, it's David here, and I'm going to be talking about glue today. Yes, glue. Did you know that Elon Musk says that glue saved his life? Now, I made that up, and it would be much better if it was a fact, because it's called a fascinating fact. But you get the idea. Find some fascinating fact that's relevant to your presentation and use that right at the beginning. Next along from the fascinating fact is the stunning statistic. Find a stunning statistic that's relevant to your presentation and throw that in at the very beginning. So I could say, hi, good afternoon, my name's David, and today I'm going to be talking about bananas. Did you know that in the United Kingdom 33.5 million bananas are eaten every single month? It's a massive number. So there's a big number to get people's attention and to draw them in, the stunning statistic. Then we can go or alternatively, we could go for a thought-provoking question. That's another great attention grabber at the beginning of a presentation. So here's a slightly trivial example, but you'll see, you'll get the gist, I'm sure. Hello there, I'm here to talk about dental hygiene. And let me ask you this very important question. When was the last time you actively brushed your teeth instead of just been on autopilot and going through the motions? When's the last time you were really intentional about it? So that would be a thought-provoking question. Now, one of the things you can do to encourage audience participation, get a little bit of interaction going right at the beginning of your presentation, is to combine the stunning statistic along with a question. So I will give you a real example from the Duffett case files here. This is going back some years, but I was applying for a job as a training manager in a UK telecoms company. And as part of the selection process, there was a short presentation, only about 15 minutes long. And so when I was thinking about the way I could start my presentation and some kind of relevant, impactful thing to grab the attention of my audience, which was only 3 or 4 people on that occasion, what I came up with was, since the training manager job that they were recruiting for, that role would be responsible for managing the budget and spending the money on training, I thought I'm going to find out how much money is spent in the whole of the UK on business related training or on training spent by UK companies. Anyway, so I found it out, and I've forgotten what the number was. Maybe it was around 18 billion, bit of a job to remember now. But what I did was I started the presentation by saying that I want you to take a quick guess, please. How much money do you think is spent by the whole of the UK industry on training for their employees every year? Have a guess with me. And I let people guess, and they threw out their various answers. And after they'd all had a go, I said, actually, the real answer is £18 billion every year. 18 billion. I think we can all agree that's a huge amount of money. And then I went off into the presentation. So I got a little bit of interaction. I got people answering questions. I gave my little presentation. And at the end of the 15 minutes, I used this thing that I believe is known as a collapsed loop, where I came back to what I'd been saying at the beginning. So as I drew to the end of my presentation, I was summarising, and then I finished by saying, look, at the beginning of this presentation, we established that it's £18 billion spent every year on training within the UK by UK companies. Huge amount of money. I've only been speaking for 15 minutes, but that means that UK industry has spent £435,000 just while I've been speaking. Let me assure you that your share of that money in my hands will not be wasted. And so you see, I drew it all together at the close. So that's not the main point of the story. The main point is the main thrust of this video is all about how to be impactful at the beginning of your presentation. So the 3 ideas that I went through with you there are fascinating facts, stunning statistics, and thought-provoking questions. If you're somebody for whom humour works well, you could start off with a joke, making sure that it's not going to offend anybody and all those kind of things, of course. There's lots of different ways you can be impactful at the beginning of a presentation, and I've just gone through a few with you. If there's any, as I said, if there's any that you use that are not in that list, then throw them in the comments. It'd be great to hear about them. But for now, it's been great talking to you, great talking about the way to be high impact at the beginning of your presentation. But it would be great for you to use these things and reap the rewards of being a geek that can speak. Thank you, and see you next time.